Today, we're exploring the fundamental mechanics of achieving financial freedom. We've got some seriously eye-opening source material to go through that challenges, well, basically everything most of us were taught about how to make a living. So if you've ever felt like the standard roadmap to success is missing a massive piece of the puzzle, let's unpack exactly why passive income might just be the ultimate key to building long-term wealth.
Okay, let's dive into this with a quote that really sets the stage perfectly. Influential thinker Seth Godin, as highlighted in our source material from MagnatesMedia, points out that school is designed to make us an average, compliant cog in the corporate machine. Wow, right? From a very early age, the source argues our traditional education system kind of conditions us to accept a pretty flawed financial setup. We're taught to acquire this broad set of just perfectly average skills, all so we can go out, sit at a desk, follow instructions, and get a standard job. The system isn't really designed to make you rich, it's designed to make you compliant.
Which brings us to Section 1, the time for money trap.
You see, most of us find ourselves completely stuck in a cycle of trading our limited time for money. Just think about this traditional timeline for a second. You've got your early years dedicated entirely to schooling. Then, as a young adult, you're pushed straight into college or university. From there, you enter this massive, grueling third phase. We're talking about spending the next 50 years slowly grinding your way up the corporate ladder. And finally, phase 4, at the very end of your life, you hit retirement. We're told over and over that this is the safe option. But when you actually map it out like this, you start to see the giant flaw. This system essentially forces people to delay all their gratification and wait until their twilight years to actually start enjoying life. I mean, it's an exhausting marathon.
And honestly, here's the truly frustrating part. Even if you play that traditional game perfectly, let's say you finally reach that coveted, high-paying job, you become a manager. Well, mostly, you just inherit a mountain of new stress and responsibilities. Managers are rarely millionaires. But more importantly, because of all those added duties, you probably don't even have the free time to enjoy the extra money you're making. You're still trapped. It's just in a slightly nicer cage.
Let's move on to Section 2, the passive income secret.
So how do we actually break out of this cycle? The source reveals a totally different way to operate. It's a real alternative to that 9-to-5 grind. Now, what's really interesting about this comparison is the stark contrast between these two models. First up, active income. That's trading your time for money. If you're paid an hourly wage or a fixed salary, your earnings are permanently capped, period. But then we have passive income, and this is the dream, right? This model allows you to earn money while you're literally sleeping. You could be sitting on a tropical beach somewhere, sipping a cocktail, and your bank account is still growing. Because passive income isn't tied to your physical labor hours, your earnings become completely uncapped.
And you know, the reason active income is so strictly capped comes down to this single, unavoidable number, 24. No matter how smart, how talented, or how incredibly hardworking you are, there are only 24 hours in a day. That is the fundamental flaw of active income. When you're trading time for wages, you create a hard physical ceiling on your earning potential. You simply run out of hours to sell. It's that simple.
But passive income? It bypasses that 24-hour rule entirely. And honestly, the best part is that you don't need a massive bank loan or some huge corporate office to get started. As our source notes, passive income can be generated with very few resources, literally straight from your bedroom. The creator behind MagnatesMedia actually shares this brilliant anecdote about generating thousands of pounds in passive income from their childhood bedroom before they were even old enough to legally hold a PayPal account. I mean, that's wild. It just proves that massive, intimidating startup costs simply aren't required to get the ball rolling here.
All right, Section 3, building income-generating assets.
To completely shatter that 24-hour ceiling, we need to create things that actually work for us. So the crucial point is defining what an asset really is in this context. An asset is something that, once it's already made, continues to bring in money, often on an automated basis. And automated is absolutely the magic word here. You put in the heavy lifting and effort up front for sure, but once that initial work is done, the asset takes on a life of its own.
Let's rapidly fire off some concrete examples straight from the source material. What does an asset actually look like? Well, it could be digital products or online courses where you're teaching a skill to thousands of people all at once. It could be monetized YouTube videos, pulling in ad revenue long after you hit publish. It might be setting up a dropshipping business, or think about ebooks. The source specifically mentions how incredibly simple it is to team up with a writer, edit their work, and then publish it for free on Amazon. Once it's up there, every single sale is a brand new piece of passive income.
Moving right along to Section 4, scaling through outsourcing.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we actually transition away from our own personal labor. Using a freelance writer as an example, let's break it down into steps. Step 1, you start a freelance writing business. You're doing the work yourself, it's highly active. But then you hit step 2. You build a strong portfolio, demand for your work increases, and instead of turning clients away because you're out of time, you outsource the actual writing to someone else while you take a cut. Now you're scaling. Then we reach step 3. You package all that industry knowledge you've gained into a digital course or a YouTube channel. You have completely transformed from actively trading your time for a paycheck to passively earning from assets and other people's labor. When we look at the ultimate destination here, the average worker has exactly one slice of the pie, right? Just one income stream from their daily job. But millionaires, they build multiple passive income streams. They're building a highly diversified pie. Once one asset is built, you let it run smoothly in the background while you go off and form something completely new. You run them side by side. Or, even better, you take the profits from your ebook sales and inject them directly into your monetized channel, compounding your wealth by investing in assets that continually grow in value.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, the reality of wealth.
All right, let's take a collective deep breath and ground this conversation for a second. Because the path is definitely not always what social media portrays. The big myth is that passive income is just easy money right from day one. It's really not. The reality is that this isn't inherently an easier lifestyle at first. In fact, at the very beginning, building these automated assets is often much, much harder to set up than simply clocking into a guaranteed 9 to 5. It requires some intense, unpaid upfront work. But you do it because the ultimate payoff isn't just the money, it is uncapped earning potential and total, absolute freedom over your own life.
To survive that difficult initial setup phase, you're going to need a radical mindset shift. You must become a specialist, not a generalist. Remember our very first topic about the school system conditioning us to be just average at a bunch of different things? You have to aggressively reject that idea. To build real assets, you need to master one very specific skill that other people actively want and are willing to pay for. Don't settle for being okay at 10 things. Be absolutely incredible at one thing.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer, and I want to challenge you directly with this thought. What skill do you have right now that you could turn into a passive income stream? Every single person has something, whether it's writing, coding, video editing, or even organizing data. Think about how you can package your unique skill into an automated asset, because you do not have to wait 50 years to start enjoying your life. The blueprint is right here. Thank you so much for joining me to Decode Wealth, and I will catch you on the next explainer.